What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Well, ain't no need in putting, y'all know what we here for. Biden has officially announced that he is no longer in the race, and he has officially endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, I do have his official statement, but I'm pretty certain at this point in time, you guys have already heard it. If you want me to read it, I will. But I wanted to just come down here and let's talk about what it is. I know I had set the time for 2:20, but I pushed it back because I saw that El Teddy was live. So I pushed it back because I wanted to hear what he was talking about. And I know we share a lot of subscribers as well. So I've in the interim, I've been listening to. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My first if y'all were watching my Love and Marriage Huntsville review, y'all know what my first reaction was. My first reaction was I'm not happy about it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I say I'm not happy about it, I just thought, and I say thought past tense because I've woosawed and I was listening to my girl Rachel Maddow over on MSNBC. I was listening to her, so my thought has evolved a little bit over the last hour, which I'm kind of glad that I did take that pause because it gave me time to sort of woosaw myself. I just wanted this to be done at the beginning. I felt like it was very selfish on Joe Biden's part to run for a second term. And I felt like it was very spineless on the Democrats' part for allowing him to do it, right? The same thing that they did within the last 2 or 3 weeks is the same thing they should have done a year ago. That's how I feel, right? Also, my concern was it's so late and you're giving Donald Trump and his supporters so much ammunition, right? So much ammunition. Then I was like, Kamala Harris is the obvious choice at this point, but we know how I went with Hillary Clinton. And I just didn't know if the country, or I still don't know, if the country is ready for a woman. So here's why I had so many different emotions. Okay. I'm going to read some of you all's comments and then I'm going to get into what, keep going. The Informed said that the donors and the media are behind this. Hey, Superstar Graham finally caught it live. I don't know why you don't get the notifications, boo. Unsubscribe and subscribe back because I've had to do that with some people. I don't know why you're not getting the notifications, but it's a mess. Catching it live. Finally, a girl's been busy. I'm so glad you're discussing this. And so many people are legit worried. Here comes Project 2025. Shaking my head. Hey, Kia Coco Pop. Hey, Katrina. I hope everyone is having a stress-less day after what happened today. It's a mistake 100 times over. Hey, Lisa. How you doing, girls, these days? Share my love. Cece, where you been, boo? Hey, Cece Freak. Not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous. Hey, Chuck, Team Harris. Hashtag Team Harris. Hey, Taya. Everyone else feels like they need an election. Anyone else feels like they need an election support group? Child. Hey, all vote. I'm so nervous, y'all. I hope they get behind Harris. Biden has been struggling for a while. What's up, Miss Toby? Hey, Miss... Oh, no, you have to come down from Baltimore. I have an extra ticket to the Mystics game. If you want to go, let me know. Hey, Lexi. I had to check my inbox. Okay, girl. Team Harris by default. I'm pissed, really, B. I'm going to drop the link. Give me about 20 minutes, Bap. I know you want to come up. Well, I hope you come up, I should say. I'm going to drop the link. I'm definitely going to have an open panel. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of what I'm thinking. And then I'm going to let y'all say what y'all need to say. Did you read that trash statement DT put out? Child, what do you expect from him? I didn't read it, but I'm sure it's what you say it is below. Thank God Biden dropped out. Shaking my damn head. Watching MSNBC. Yeah, I was watching MSNBC too. I don't read this. I didn't read his official statement, but this is crazy. I wish he would have never stated. He was running again to give folks more time to find a candidate. That is what I said to Wanda. I'll read the statement. I'll read it. But that is what I said. My personal opinion is he should never have run again. And I felt like that was Rachel Maddow was saying, oh, he's doing the selfless thing, da-da-da-da-da. But I feel like he made a selfish decision in the beginning. I felt like in the beginning, he should, listen, let me finish saying hi to the people, and then we're gonna get into it. I felt like that could have all been done behind closed doors. I don't feel like all this publicity was good. How he gonna do it behind closed doors? There was no way to do. He was the running mate. He was the Democratic nominee. There's no way to do that behind. What are you supposed to? I mean, I don't understand how he could do it behind closed doors. He had to say it, make a public statement. I honestly think it's too late right now. I don't know if people are going to vote for a woman, especially a woman of color. That is where I feel, Kawali. That is how I feel. I never believed the COVID diagnosis. I think he just needed time to plan. I agree. Share my love. I agree with you 100%. When he said it, I didn't believe it. I don't know what the Dems are doing. I don't think they expect to win. That makes a lot of sense, really, be. It's not that I support Harris. If anything, I'm extremely worried for her. I understand. Congressional Black Caucus just endorsed Kamala Harris. Exactly, rich, racist white men don't want woman president. Period. Tuh, with the T. I'm behind Kamala. I don't trust America, but vote for a black woman. Yeah. Hey, really being trapped. I'm scared, but we got to do what we have to do to keep hope alive. I agree. He will. Hold on. I'm just reading through what you guys are saying, and like I said, I'm gonna say my piece, and then I'm gonna drop the link. Not get your passports updated. Ooh. I will vote Kamala, but honestly, not sure she can be the diaper dumper. Not the diaper dumper. I don't know if I've heard that one before. When I say behind closed doors, I mean all of the senators and them coming out. I still don't understand how he does it quietly, but I just think I think he should have said from the beginning, he is not running for re-election. But what if something recently came out and that's why President Biden has to make the choice to drop out? I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't think it's anything to do with recent news. I think I'm gonna get back. Let me say, hey Lamone Boo. What up, Danny? Hey Boo. This isn't time to vacillate. Child, don't make me say that big word this early in the morning. It's not early in the morning. Hey, ReallyBTV mods in chat. This is a mess. Hillary called this out from the beginning. Nobody listens to her, and they didn't put her in. Do you think they're going to let her in? Hillary ain't running for shit. I don't think Hillary is interested in doing anything but playing with her grandkids. That is it, and that is all. That is it, and that is all. Just made it home safely. I'm glad you did. Glad you did. I'm so afraid this country will never accept a woman as president. Yeah, I feel the same way. So, okay. Shout out to everybody in the room. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you are old here and new here, please hit that like button. I'm going to drop the link. Give me about 10 or 15 minutes to get out what I want to get out. And then I will let you guys have the floor for about an hour or so. But feel free to leave your comments in the chat. So let me say this, you guys. I'm going to go back to the beginning. When I truly believed that 4 years ago, Joe Biden was the only person that could have beat Donald Trump. People can argue with me. People can disagree with me. That's how I felt. I do feel like Joe Biden came in like the great white hope and swooped down and saved us, right? Because I do not think that anybody else that was running on that ticket would have beat Trump. That's just my opinion. And I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. However, we all know that nowadays in this 4-year presidency, after year 2, it's time to start running again. 2 years ago, I think Biden should have made it very clear he was not running for re-election. Very much like what Lyndon B. Johnson did when he chose not to run for re-election. The Vietnam War was a little bit too much. His stance on civil rights had alienating the Southern Democrats, and he knew he probably wasn't going to win without tearing up the Democratic Party. So he bowed out. He said it early enough. He made a public statement. He did a presidential address, and he said that I will not seek nor will I accept the nomination for presidency. That is what I feel like Joe Biden should have done 2 years ago. I think he should have made it very clear. And then there could have been a honest and a true primary process for the Democratic nominee. I do think we have some rising stars in the Democratic Party. And I think that we have some rising stars that could have definitely given the Republicans a run for their money. I believe that. My disappointment in what's happening right now is I just think it's so late. And I just don't. Can I just call it? I'm going to just be real about it. I don't have no faith in y'all. I'm just going to call a thing a thing. I don't have no faith in y'all. And I think that's where a lot of my trepidation is coming from. I just don't have no, and when I say y'all, you know I mean y'all. You know I mean y'all, right? I don't have I don't have any faith in people when I hear things like, well, Donald Trump gave us money during the COVID. I'm sorry, what? When people want to go back 30 years and talk about something Joe Biden did 30 years ago, but don't want to talk about something Trump did a week ago. See, that's the people I don't have no faith in. And I'm not saying that Joe Biden is a saint by no stretch of the imagination. He definitely got some things in his past that I ain't cool with. I ain't about to sit here and pretend like all of that. But the fact that people will jump back 30 years and talk about something Joe Biden did, but they don't have no issues with something Trump did a week ago. That's where I'm like, I don't have no faith in y'all. The fact that when Hillary Clinton ran for president against Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and I love me some Barack Obama, don't get me wrong, but the fact that she was the most qualified person on that stage and she still couldn't get the nominee, the nomination, I should say, nomination. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't have no faith in y'all. The fact that people literally 2-3 weeks ago were still talking about third-party candidates, not understanding how serious this is. Listen, Joe Biden was definitely not the best that the Democratic Party had to offer, but baby, he was the best out of between him and Donald Trump. And the fact that people didn't understand and couldn't wrap their brain around the concept that if you vote third party, you basically might as well just vote for Donald Trump. I'm not understanding. Or people, celebrities coming out saying, I just ain't voting. That's what I mean when I say I just don't have no faith in y'all. And I still don't. I listen to Rachel Maddow, and I love me some Rachel Maddow. And Rachel Maddow is very, very positive in what she thinks is happening and where she thinks this is going. She said that she feels like the Democratic Party is solidifying behind Kamala Harris. A lot of people are putting their endorsements behind Kamala Harris. Hillary and Bill Clinton just put out a joint statement endorsing Kamala Harris. Now, I will say this. I do think we are going to see a regenerized campaign. I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more campaign activities, a lot more rallies, a lot more events. I think people are going to be talking about this campaign a lot more. I do think that. Because let's just call it a thing. Joe Biden just couldn't do it, okay? Joe Biden couldn't be out there every weekend campaigning. Joe Biden couldn't be doing the things that people need to be doing. But we are going to start seeing, especially a lot of these young superstars in the Democratic Party trying to climb the ladder. We are going to see a whole lot of that. Now, that I feel. Okay? Do they have time for the flyers and the billboards? Child. Listen, I just feel like we are going to see a regenerate. And I also think there's going to be some money. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be some money. Because I think a lot of Democrats had checked out. I do think a lot of Democrats had just checked out of the process and would just dialing it in. Ronnie Q, are you back? Because when I'm about to drop my link in a few minutes, I want you to come up. Are you back from I know you went out of town. You and the hubby was hanging out this weekend doing grown folk stuff. I'm about to drop the link in a minute. I got one more thing I'm gonna talk about. El Teddy, I know you have to get yourself together for Janet, but if you want to come up, you know you can, boo. Biden would not have pulled out without forcing all the leadership in the party to back Kamala. Yeah, I know. I heard you saying that on your live. I do feel like that. Now, let me say this. I do feel like the Democratic Party is, the leadership of the Democratic Party is backing Kamala Harris. Absolutely. Absolutely. 120%. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about y'all. And you know, when I say y'all, you know I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about y'all. All right. Now, I found this article. This is coming from Forbes. I'm just going to read you guys the top 5. This is according to Forbes magazine. These are the top people that Kamala could possibly name as her VP. A couple of these names you guys have already been floating around. And then I'm going to drop the link. Let me go through these people. So first we have the top that everybody is talking about is California Governor Gavin Newsom, staunchly defended Biden following backlash over his disastrous debate performance, against Donald Trump last month. But he and other potential options like Colorado Governor Jared Polis and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker could be at a disadvantage in the hypothetical VP placement race since they represent safely blue states. Because remember, y'all, this is all about strategy. So the fact that they come from a place that they know the Democratic Party already has could be a mark against them. El Teddy also said something about he's not sure if she can choose Gavin Newsom because they both come from California. There may be some law. I have to look it up. I didn't have time to do the research before I went live. I'll have to look that up. I'm sure if I don't have time to look it up, I'm sure CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, if it's a law or a rule, I'm sure they'll have it. The next name that comes up is North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Campaigned with Harris in North Carolina this week, raising speculation he could run alongside her. Something former Democratic National Committee Chair Howard Dean told CNN on Thursday he would support, predicting Democrats would win North Carolina. As a result, Trump is currently ahead in North Carolina by 6.8 points. And again, North Carolina, so that's El Teddy brought up Roy Cooper as well. That's a check in the plus column for Roy Cooper that he's in a state that what we call the purple state, right? Representative Betty McCollum out of Minnesota called for her state's Democratic Governor Tim Walz to serve as Harris's running mate Friday. Walz acknowledged Biden had a poor night on his PBS interview after the debate. Kentucky popular Governor Andy Beshear, who has won his deep red state twice, is another potential pick for the number 2 spot on a new Democratic ticket, though Democrats would still be unlikely to win Kentucky. That is who El Teddy, I think, likes. He kept bringing him up. I think El Teddy's leaning towards Andy Beshear. And I do think it's a plus that he is in a deep red state, although I agree Kentucky still ain't going to go blue, but it might turn purple. And listen, we'll take every little bit we can get. Presidential picks like Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmire and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro could also help the party shore up support in the crucial swing states where Biden was trailing former President Donald Trump, according to polling averages. Yeah, Pennsylvania was definitely a nail biter. Okay? And let me tell you, I have driven through Pennsylvania. I've gone to Pennsylvania to visit my friends in Philadelphia. I've gone to visit my friend in Pittsburgh, and I've gone through to go see my niece when I drove to go visit her in Detroit. And trust me, depending on what part of Pennsylvania you in, it is a different world, okay? You definitely have serious Trump country going through Pennsylvania. Maryland Governor Wes Moore is another rising star in the Democratic Party. Although he said he would not seek the Democratic nomination this year, he continued to support Biden despite the debate backlash. I think we can look for Wes Moore in the next 8 years. I do not think that he would fall into the race right now or in the next 4 years. But I think depending on what the field of politics looks like after the next 4 years, maybe. Senator Amy Klobuchar, I know I said her name wrong. I always say her name wrong. Sorry. And Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg are other potential candidates who have national name recognition from their 2020 presidential campaign. I could see Pete Buttigieg being in the conversation. But I think that Gavin Newsom is probably everybody's top pick, minus if there is a rule that would stop it. I'm getting ready to drop the link. Again, you do not have to show your face on camera. I just have to confirm that it's you, but you do not have to show your face on camera. Pete is a no because he's gay. I don't think that's an automatic no, but that's definitely a concern. I definitely don't think we're gonna have two minorities on this ticket. So I don't think it'll be a woman. I don't think it's gonna be a person of color. And you're right, it may not be it may not be a gay person either, but it's definitely not gonna be a person of color, and it definitely ain't gonna be a woman. That's my opinion. My opinion. Obama just came out and basically did not endorse Kamala. What did he say? I need to can you send it to me, Andrew? Hey, John. Hey, you're not connected yet. Oh Lord. The chat is popping up. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me put my screen up to bring y'all up here. Hold on. Although I believe y'all are who y'all say y'all are. Okay. Bap, you dropped off, boo. John, what's up, John? Hey, L Teddy.
Hey, Really B.
I never say John. It sounds weird. I always say Jonathan. I never say John. All right. CC Freak. Hold on. Let me add CC Freak, and then I'm going to take this screen down. Okay. Okay, I see you, boo. You can take it. You can put your screen back up. All right. Bab, is that you?
Yes, me.
Okay. All right. Jonathan, you were the first one up here, and then we'll go to L Teddy, CC Freak, and Bap. What up? How we feeling?
Feeling great. Who going
Jonathan.
first? You said me? Jonathan, what's up?
Yeah, I said you. You were the first one up here. Hey, boo. Hey.
Listen. I just want to talk about Joe Biden. You know, I feel like that. You know, a lot of people say he should have did this years ago, and I agree. But I think the issue with him is I don't think he's accepted his health status. You know, everybody keeps talking about he's too old, but it's not his age to me; it's his health, and I don't think that he really has been in tune to realize. Like, I think he knows he had a bad debate, but I don't care what nobody say. That dude zoned out during that debate. It's something. It's got to be more to his health than what they're coming forth with, and I think he's been in denial about it. And so I do think it's selfish that he stayed in, but you know, I think it just took him time to realize, hey, you know, I'm not at best health as I should be, or not as healthy as I should be. And as far as President Obama endorsing Kamala Harris, y'all can wait for a while for that, because I feel like President Obama is very calculated, and I feel like he's not going to come out and endorse anything until he knows who the final ticket is, and then he would do the endorsing. I think that because he's the biggest push for the Democratic Party to get, you know, some of the black vote, and so I think that's the reason why he would stay silent.
Danny, you can put your screen back up. I see you.
Until they have the nominees there. But that's all I had. And then my only concern with Kamala Harris is the Democratic Party, the leadership. They seem to be endorsing her, but if you notice, Nancy Pelosi is talking about an open convention, and if they pull a stunt with not having her as the front runner, they're going to lose the black vote, because then we're going to know what this mess was about in the first place. But that's all I got.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, boo. Too feisty, is that you, babe?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. El Teddy, go ahead, babe. What you got? El Teddy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm gonna be quick and let everybody else go. I was just live giving my thoughts. But what I will say is this. I love my frat brother to death that just talked. But I have to disagree about Obama. Like I said on my live just a few minutes ago, at this point, if they have another DNC that's wide open, like a 1968, well, you know, or 72, where it's just a whole mess, they've lost. They'll lose their base. They've lost. They've already lost the race. So I feel like within the next week, anybody who calls themselves anything in the Democratic Party is going to go full-throated Kamala Harris, because they know they have to get everybody in line in order to give themselves any type of a chance to win. So
see you,
that's the
Jillian. I'm
first
about to.
thing. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I see something, Jillian. I see you backstage. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Go ahead, baby. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So
I'm just.
I feel like no, you're fine. I feel like that's what we're going to see, um, starting as early as tonight and tomorrow. If they haven't already done it, I haven't had a chance to look at anything because I just got off the road. In terms of running mate, and I think that the woe is me bite and everything, we got to get past that, and now we got to look toward the race. Is it? Is this a still winnable race? Yes. There are a couple things that they can push toward to make this winnable. They could push reproductive rights, because that is something that in every red state has won.
But you know
Even the
something
red.
they brought up on MSNBC, El Teddy, because I'm not gonna take credit for this. I just heard it on MSNBC because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch the RNC last week. That never came up. The
Yeah, I
reproductive
watched
rights
it
as
last
much
week.
as huh?
No, I watched it last week, and they purposely never brought it up because they
Right.
know they
That's what
can't
I will
win.
say. The fact that they
Hmm.
never even brought it up is definitely somewhere they need to attack, especially with JD Vance. I don't know if you guys have done y'all's research on JD Vance, but this is a man who signed a petition that said that, you know, he wanted prosecutors to be able to get your medical records from other states if you chose to go to another state where you could get an abortion and then be prosecuted in your home state. Like he also feels like women shouldn't be able to get out of marriages on a no-fault marriage, even if it's abusive. Like this man, y'all, woo.
Well, this man is really this. I don't think Donald Trump and his people did all of their homework on him anyway. I'll get there in a second, but I think they could run
I
on
think they thought they
women.
didn't have to. I think they were. I think they thought they had the election in the bag, and they didn't have to put no thought
Hmm.
into who the running mate was.
I think they can run on women's right. That's their biggest issue. They can also run on Project 2025. Those two issues are scary enough to get people out. I also think that in terms of a running mate, they do need to be strategic. I know you said that my top pick right now would be Andy Bashir. I think that it would be. I think that the worst pick that she could pick would be Josh Shapiro, because even though Pennsylvania is really purple, people look at Pennsylvania being blue because the governor's Democratic as well as both senators. Now, the reason that I say Josh Shapiro will be her worst choice, because let's be honest, the real reason Joe Biden lost so much footing even before they started calling him old was his stance on Israel Hamas. Josh Shapiro is Jewish. He has the full-throated backing of AIPAC and the whole Jewish faction of the Democratic Party. So that wouldn't do anything to shore up those votes that they lost with the young voters and progressive voters that wanted no parts of the Israel-Hamas war. So I think Shapiro will be bad. I also think anybody that's a governor of a blue state would not help you get some of the votes that you need. So that's why I say Bashir. I could also see them picking Julian Castro because the
Yes,
Latino Hispanic vote
I could
right
definitely see
now
Castro. I could
is
definitely see
real
Castro.
iffy. Right. So because that Latino Hispanic vote is real iffy right now, they could pick
Mm-hmm.
him to kind of shore up those voters. The only thing against him, he's seen kind of as progressive. She's seen as progressive. So you got to kind of balance that out. She can't pick a woman. She cannot. She can't pick another outside of maybe a Hispanic male. She can't pick a black person at all. Not if she
No,
wants to
that's what I
win.
said. I said she can't pick a woman and she can't pick a person of color
Yeah,
at all.
she can't pick, and that's why
Well, not a black
Buttigieg,
person. I'm sorry, not a
Buttigieg
black
can't
person.
get it either because he's
Yeah,
gay. That's out. So he can't get it because that's going to be too
right,
liberal to get
right.
those
That's what
some of the
somebody was saying.
independents and people like that. So like I said, I do think it's winnable, but this week is going to tell us a lot. The things that, for example, I expect fully. I haven't seen it yet, but I expect Joe Biden to address the nation tonight while I'm at Janet Jackson. And his first two paragraphs should be about him. His next six paragraphs needs to be about Kamala to make sure to let the American electorate know, hey, we all on the same page. That'll help. And then all week long, how these Dems and the leadership get in front of microphones and say we give full support toward Kamala. And then finally, she needs to, within the next week or two, choose her running mate so that we can, get an idea well before the convention where she wants to go with that. Those are my thoughts, at least until I read all of my emails and texts that I got
Right.
from my people.
I got you. Thank you, Boo. Thank you. And I see you guys in the comments. I see your comments. Vance's wife is a snake. She used to be a law clerk for 2 conservative justices. That's why Trump picked them. Okay. I see the Supreme Court and judicial nominees are important to me. Trump cannot get his hands back in these courts. Child, I see y'all in the chat. Who was next? Bap, I think you were next. I'm sorry if I'm going out of order, y'all. I think Bap was next.
CCF Freak was next.
Oh, I'm sorry, Boo. Okay, thank you. CC Freak, what's up, baby?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? I'm like I was saying in the comments. I'm just so worried right now because like you said, it's the timing. The timing is just really got me on edge right now. But I've never really paid attention to a convention, but now I feel like I'm gonna really have to watch this Democratic convention this year. I feel like it's gonna be very important to see what everything goes down. It's just that I'm pretty sure by that time we'll know who the VP choice will pick, and because like El Teddy said, we can't think about what we should have done, because I know, of course, one of the things we should have done is we should have been kept the eye on more of the court system, but we here now, so we just gotta make up for lost time. I just like you said, don't really be. I hope this ignites the Democratic vote, and hopefully they can get the energy back that we really need, because we have less than 4 months to get this all together. It just kind of has me on edge, but like I said, we got to get these flyers out, because they're gonna have to get these flyers and billboards, but the Democratic convention is gonna be very, very important in my eyes. I will be paying attention. I'm not even really into politics like that 100%, but of course I always try to vote for what's right, and we cannot have this man back in office. We really can't. But this timing of this junk has really got me worried, because I know Harris can do the job. I just hope everybody can really get behind her. That's the part. Like you said, I'm worried about y'all and not y'all in the comments, but like you exactly what you said, really be. That's the part I'm worried about the most. Like, is people really gonna go out and vote, or they're gonna be like, I'm just not gonna vote at all? That's not gonna help. That's not gonna help the situation. And we on crunch time now. We really on crunch time. And that's pretty much all I wanted to get out.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, babe.
I had to unmute myself. This whole thing has me in a bit of a conundrum, I guess I would say, because if somehow they don't end up backing Kamala, and they have this open convention that people like Pelosi are backing, or even that it seems somewhat like Obama is leaning toward, I don't know that I'm going to be able in good conscience to vote for whoever they pick in November. I don't know that because it feels like you have this push right now to vote against Trump because of the fact that he's anti-democracy, and you have all these rights and liberties being taken away. But then at the same time, when I voted for Biden and Harris, right? I didn't vote for the Democratic elite to be able to choose a candidate for me. And so I would be really, really put out if somehow they just decided they were going to override what we all voted for and just pick somebody else. That's where my head is right now. Like, that if they don't pick Harris, I don't know what I'm going to do come November.
I got you. I'm going to read you guys the 12th Amendment. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's kind of lengthy. But you guys are saying that the 12th Amendment is the reason why she can't pick Governor Newsom. So I'm going to read you guys, and you guys can just go and do your own research. But I'm going to read you a little bit of it. The 12th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States says the following: the electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for president and vice president, one of whom at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. They shall name in their ballots the person voted for as president, and in distinct ballots the person voted for as vice president. And they shall make distinct lists of all persons voted for as president and all persons voted for as vice president. And of the number of votes each, I'm sorry, I looked up to do something and I lost my place. And the number of votes each, which list they shall assign and certify and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States directed to the president of the Senate. The president of the Senate shall, and that's when they talk about that. So let me say this. Based on that, no Newsom. But if she changed her residency to Washington, D.C., that could be a loophole. If she's officially changed her residency. Now, if she's still a resident of California, then no bueno. But if she has changed her residency, so we'll see. But I'm thinking it's probably not going to be Newsom. Who was next? I think it was Danny. Too Feisty and Danny came up at the same time, and then Jillian. Aunt Nettie, I see you backstage. Hold on a second. I'm gonna bring you up. So Danny, if you want to go, and then Too Feisty, and then Julian. And thank y'all for y'all patience.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I just want to say this about Biden dropping out. It's not the fact that Biden dropped out that's irking me. It's the timing. If Biden could actually dropped out months ago instead of waiting till now to drop out, because November's going to be around the corner. And if you look at Harris and look at the vice presidential picks, okay, due to the 12th Amendment, Newsom is not a viable option. However, you still have Roy Cooper of North Carolina. You still have Shapiro. I'm not sure what state Shapiro is. And I know some people are throwing Christian Whitmer out there. Even though, Whitmer is an option, if you put a Harris Whitmer ticket against a Trump Vance ticket, Harris is going to lose easily. And the reason why I say that is that, and I don't want to play the race card, but I just gotta shoot it straight with y'all. Harris Whitmer ticket is not a winning ticket because unfortunately the white males most likely are going to go for a Trump Vance ticket as opposed to a Harris Whitmer ticket. Now, if it's like a Harris Cooper ticket, Harris will have a more viable chance, or will have a viable chance to win. Or if it's like a Harris Shapiro ticket, she would have a viable chance to win. Now, her and Gavin Newsom for right now will be ruled out. But if, like you said, Really B, if she would change to Washington, D.C., Gavin Newsom could be a viable option. But I think the issue that, Kamala would have is that, even though he would be the vice presidential nominee, he could, unfortunately, quote unquote, overshadow Kamala a little bit. If you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, and like I said, I honestly feel like it's gonna be a white man. Sorry, and they may pull out Castro. They may pull out one of the Castro brothers, but it's not gonna be a woman. Sorry, and it's not gonna be a black man. Sorry, ain't no way in hell. Like when you look at strategy and you're strategizing, there's just no way that's a viable road to winning, and they know it. They know it. They pushing their luck with Kamala. They're pushing their luck with Kamala. So a woman ain't gonna get it. I'm sorry. I just hate to be the one to tell y'all it ain't gonna be a woman and it ain't gonna be a black man. Sorry, not sorry. That's just what it is. It's gonna be a white man, and like I said, I think they might be able to get Castro. Maybe. That's a strong maybe, but it's definitely gonna be a white man, in my opinion. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, Pritzker or even the guy out of Kentucky. Kamala released a statement. They're reading it on the news. Okay, let me see. I'll pull it up. And Barack Obama did release a statement, and no, he did not endorse He did not endorse Kamala Harris. I'm gonna read you guys a statement. Thank you. Somebody, one of my eyes in the sky sent it to me. Thank you very much. I'm about to read it to you now. Oh shoot. Hold on. Okay, here it is right here. President Obama said the following. Joe Biden has been one of America's most consequential presidents, as well as a dear friend and a partner to me. Today, we've also been reminded again that he is a patriot of the highest order. For now, Michelle and I just want to express our love and gratitude to Joe and Jill for leading us so ably and courageously during these perilous times, and for their commitment to the ideals of freedom and equality that this country was founded on. So, and he even said, for now, meaning for right now, I'm not going to endorse anybody. That doesn't mean he won't do it, but right now he's not. I think there could be a lot of reasons why he ain't endorsing, but he's not endorsing right now. You guys said that Kamala Harris has released a statement. I'll read that in a minute. Two fights, you were next, my love.
Hey everybody. I'm going to agree. At this point, too, I feel like we're in between two spaces: what we will prefer and what will win the election. Exactly. And I think the focal point for everyone should be trying to win at all costs, no matter what. And you are 100% right. A black person as a running mate, nor someone that doesn't appeal. Like, honestly, I really feel like what's going to be our best option is to appeal to these white women. And at the end of the day, they need somebody that they can trust. These are the same women who felt like they couldn't trust Hillary Clinton for the most part. Me personally, I don't like the decision. I am disappointed. I am frustrated, and not necessarily with Joe Biden himself. I see a lot of blame on him, as if to say he should have stepped down. He should have taken into consideration his age and his health. And I personally just feel like, where's the leadership? We have a party who knows how to line people up. They should have they have the backing to propel certain people forward, to make them more visible so that they can appeal to us as the voters. Where is the leadership? This is too late in the game. It's honestly a little embarrassing at this point, and I'm just really annoyed because I'm one of those people. I'll keep this quick. I'm one of those people that I can't do politics 24/7. It gives me anxiety. It makes me frustrated. I have to filter it in and out. Typically around this time before an election is when I start tuning in, getting to know what's going to be on the ballot, all the players involved. So as I'm reading up on Project 2025 and I'm seeing what's being lined up, oh, y'all been planning this for a while. And the issue for me, the frustrating part is that it seems like as Democrats, we're always playing catch up to the Republicans. They're always 10 steps ahead of us. And it just makes me feel like, what are y'all doing? What are you guys doing with all this time? They've had so much time to get potential candidates lined up. They've had years, and it just feels like they're not ready. And I'm really annoyed with that. He shouldn't have had to step down. When he came, first of all, him running in the first place, they asked him to come forward. He was semi-retired. And then he said he only wanted to do one term. He only wanted to be a one-term president. He only ran again because you guys didn't have any other options. What are you doing? I really feel like we need a shakeup across the board. I'm not just talking about the president and the VP. We have so many things that's in place that is going to be detrimental. They've got things lined up for us. We're talking federal judges. We're talking about the Supreme Court. They're getting laws on the ballots. You see, they came after Roe v. Wade. We've talked about that ad nauseum. What are you guys doing?
We did.
For me, that's where I am.
Roe v. Wade. Nobody believed me.
Like it's so like they are literally criminalizing librarians. You can literally catch a case over a book, depending on where you live. And I live in Florida, so everybody already knows what we're dealing with down here. Yeah. I'm just really frustrated.
Yeah,
I'm really, yes, I'm really frustrated because These are the people who are making these decisions. You guys get all of the money. You put the backing behind people. I just can't help but think about for the 2004 election, John Kerry winning was a stretch. It was a stretch. But
Wow.
they got this new fresh face. We never seen him before. He talked real good. He walked real good. They done brought before Barack Obama. Was he running that year? No, but we're presenting him to the DNC. Now everybody's tuned in. Well, who is this man? We ain't seen him before. So now when he announces that he wants to run, we're already familiar with him. I want to see the plan at the DNC. And if they don't have a plan, I'm going to have a problem with that. It's not just about who they're backing and who the VP running mate is going to be. I want to see who else y'all got lined up, because no matter who wins this term, we got to think about the future, because the Republicans is already in 2035.
Absolutely.
This only 4 years. They were supposed to be ready the day Trump got elected. The day Trump got elected, they were supposed to start getting their stuff together, and they have not. And I have a problem with that. That's really the only reason why I came up here. I have a problem with the Democratic Party as a whole, the leadership. They are not prepared, and I don't know why, because it is your job to be prepared.
I've been saying that about the Democratic Party. I appreciate you, my love. And I've been saying that about the Democratic Party. Bap, is that you? Hold on. Bap, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Bap, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, I gotta make sure, girl. I gotta make sure. Okay.
Really, at this point, it's starting to feel like there's some backdoor deals happening. And just like I said, just for me, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist anyway, so just bear with me. But it's hard to feel like these people actually care what happens, because at the end of the day, you got your position, you got your money, you got your health care. The decisions that are made ultimately won't affect you that much, like it will the voters.
I'll say this too. I also think there's more going on with Joe Biden's health. I don't think it was as bad 2 years ago, but I do think that I just think it's more going on with his health. After that president, I know people try to make excuses for that presidential debate. It was bad. He was zoned out. I think that is worse than what we think it is. And I don't want to put nothing on him. I just think it is. I just think it's worse than what we know. But I think it was ego. I just think it was a lot of things. And I agree. I think it was a selfish decision 2 years ago, because he said one term. I thought one term. When he said he was running for another term, I honestly was shocked.
Me too.
Julian, you're next. And thank you for your patience. I believe Julian is next. And then, hold on, let me take this down so I can see the name.
I'm going to drop, guys, but thanks.
Thank you for coming up, boo. Too Feisty, one of my hitters from day one. She's been around for a long time. Okay, I think it's Julian, then Kat, then Taya, then Aunt Natty. I think that's the order. Go ahead, Julian, and thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Go ahead, babe.
Hey, y'all. Thank you, ReallyB, for letting me on your platform. I echo the sentiments of the last caller. I think we all do. We're just so frustrated. If I were to have bring it back to 2016, I used to be a political journalist, and the area I was stationed in was in Fulton County in Atlanta. And during that time, as I even remember, as far as the day of the election, just talking to organizers and people who were trying to, just help push Hillary Clinton, of how the voters, how it was hard to get people to want to vote. It was hard to get a spectrum of people, even like if you went to Fulton County, as Black as the county was, there was barely anyone at the polls. And I think that could say for a lot of things. It's hard to get to the polls on voting day and stuff like that. I understand that, but it's hard. I think with Hillary's election, she didn't have the energy that we needed to, get the election, people to rally behind her. And I do think a lot of it is getting white women to also want to support her. And if we noticed when we looked at the numbers that white women really weren't pulling to vote for Hillary. And then we also see with the voters, it's misogyny plays a part. With Kamala is going to be misogynoir, and because we hear a lot of Black people not wanting to, stand behind her. And if you
Mhm.
even go on social media, you can see the tweets of people. Even we all want to stand behind her, but we all know there's a sense of doubt of getting people to the polls to push for her. It's like, just like you said, we don't trust y'all. And it's also like, we're also not putting people in positions, like you always say, like, we're not voting for people to put their foot on the Democratic Party's neck. Because as we see, this all could have changed 2 years ago of us getting behind someone. We don't even know who would be a good replacement at this time. I think El Teddy made some good points about, like, we probably don't want a too progressive person running again alongside of her, because, like, in California right now, as we see, is kind of like falling apart. We probably need someone that is a little more, maybe even a little more conservative in their way of approach, like a Joe Biden, who was a little more of a conservative Democrat. um but we're playing this game of, like, where, like, what would be the best person to be put in this position, which we shouldn't have to do that 4 months out. I think this was just so negligent to the people, and I think the Democratic Party needs to answer to, why did it wait so long to get this, to come to this decision? Why did we hear within these last few weeks since the debate, we hear a huge uproar of why he needs to step down? It shouldn't have to take until the debate for people to realize. We've been talking about this probably for a little over a year, of we seeing Joe Biden decline, and he's rapidly declining. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just nervous. I want to get behind Kamala 100%, but I'm pretty sure the donors are not going to support that. So endorsement doesn't mean she's going to be the nominee. Endorsement is just an endorsement, and they could switch up and choose somebody else, but we don't even know who else would be a viable candidate at this point. All we're doing is speculating. This has been a crazy week for politics, and it's only going to get crazier. But thank you again for letting me speak. I know I rambled, but thank you.
No, thank you so much. Thank you, Ronnie Q, for joining the platform. I just looked at that link you sent me. Oh my goodness, we'll be talking about that on the next teacher project. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Who was next? I think Kat was next, and then Auntie Didi.
Okay. Hello, hey y'all. How y'all doing today?
Hey,
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. A
I said
dreadful
Auntie Didi. I
Sunday,
mean
but
Auntie
that's
Heaven.
okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, boo.
Can you? Okay, love. I'm just gonna tell y'all just like this, and I'm not racist, but I'm just gonna let you know. If
Okay.
Biden had a white man running with him as his VP, they would have never made him succeed or recede his position. The only thing they scared of, and this is not gonna happen. I'm just gonna let y'all. If it happened, I'll be totally shocked.
Okay.
They're not finna let no black woman, a black person, and a woman be president of the United States. Because in Alabama, they don't say you voting for Joe Biden, you voting for Kamala Harris. They don't even add him in the
Mm-hmm.
ticket. So that's not what they're
Mm-hmm.
looking at. They're looking at the point that it will be a black woman president of the United States. You seen what we went through when we had Obama. I think if they could have popped up the world, they probably would have. So if we don't get nobody in there that's gonna take down them two ones that they got in the Republican thing, the two liars. Yes, I said you can't take my job away, but the two liars that we getting up in there now, Vance, the man that couldn't stand Trump, that wrote a book about Trump, and saying that your mom was taking drugs from illegals when your mom was stealing medicine from the hospitals. Let's get
Who?
real. Then you got this other one that claimed that he got shot. I was in the Army. There's no way an AR-15 hits your ear and your ear still intact. It don't work like that. And you got these idiots running around with band-aid with napkins on their ears. Maybe that's why they're not understanding what this man is saying. This man is a pedophile. He's been on that island many times with Epstein. It was a woman suing him for the things that he did to her. Your own wife don't even stand by you. You probably paid her to be at the convention. She didn't even want you to kiss her. You probably paid her to be there. Because if what woman, everybody keeps saying about Jill Biden ain't doing right for her husband. But everywhere you went, you seen Jill Biden was with her husband. Well, where was your wife? She's at home hiding her face because of the embarrassment that you did to her. So if we don't vote the right way, we're going to be messed up. We're going to be messed up. And I'm telling y'all now, you're going to be messed up. And the black people that that's not going for him, the thing about it is, saying that this man saying that immigrants is taking our jobs and they're taking our things away. So the black jobs, most immigrants works in fields, hotels and stuff like that. So that's the only job that you're capable of having. So if that's what y'all want to go back to, then do it. That's all I got, really.
Okay, thank you, boo. Thank you so much. Who was next? I'm sorry, I can't see the names because I have the comments up on the screen. Hold on. Taya and then Ronnie Q. Back. I'm gonna let Ronnie Q go before you because you were already up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Oh, okay, no problem. Taya and then Ronnie Q. Okay.
Well, this has been a great show. Not saying we all have to agree, but I am in like such alignment with everything that I've heard. The emotions is all over the place because it's like anxiety, excitement, disappointment, frustration. This has been like such a whirlwind. And at this point, if first of all, the issue is male or female, whether Kamala was black, white, Indian, whatever, it's the fact that she's a woman that is what across the board is going to make it difficult. Hillary was absolutely qualified years ago. It wasn't the fact that she was writing emails from the wrong email account. It was the fact that she was a woman. Because we're watching in America today, you being a criminal or doing something criminal has no bearings on your presidency, clearly. So we need the women. We need women in general, black, white, Indian, Hispanic, whatever. We need women to actually step up. If memory serves me correctly, it was white women that got Obama in the office. Those same white women wasn't even willing to vote for Hillary. Oh, another white woman. So I think I'm pretty excited. I feel like the Democrats need to get like the top marketing PR people to start really driving and pushing this campaign. This should be like the biggest women's movement since, women's suffrage. Like we really need to take advantage of this moment. I definitely believe it pushes energy back into this campaign because I feel like it's just in a daze of like, what are they doing today? How are they going to embarrass us as a country today? It's been very disappointing. And then the other thing, and most importantly, I feel like this whole take the high road, I think it's BS. And I feel like at this point, revitalize this campaign and start putting your foot on these Republicans' neck. Like when Kamala debates, it's Kamala, when she debates Trump, I need her to start every single response with former impeached, current criminal Donald Trump. Like every time she refers to him, she needs to utilize all of those titles in front of his name and just convicted. Okay, thank you. Former impeached, current convicted felon, Trump. That's how I want her to literally start every single response. Let's keep pushing that. And absolutely, women's rights is like, I don't know if people really. I've already had my kids, but I still value women's reproductive rights. So even though it doesn't directly apply to me, it would apply to my daughter. It would apply to my nieces. It may apply to, another young lady up the street in my community. I'm still very well invested, even though it does not directly affect me. It was another point. Now I'm forgetting because I'm like all over the place because this has been, like I said, it's been a whirlwind. Um,
It's okay.
but
You can hang
I
out. You don't have
certainly
to come
agree
to
with, like everybody that so far that spoke. I'm like checking off the boxes. Like I'm like sitting here, like yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I do appreciate everyone's responses so far. And again, it doesn't have to be in alignment, but I just have to go on record and say I'm in alignment with everything that I've heard said so far. Also, all of the VP picks that suggestions, I should say, I don't know any of them either. Because yes, we have wasted all of this freaking time and instead of utilizing it to give people some information on these people, they knew this man wasn't going to be able to run. And I also agree with you. I think Biden is sick. I think he's sick. He's been sick. I'm sorry. I don't think he had COVID-19. I think he has something else. He's already known that he had it. And whatever it is progressing. God, may the Lord cover him. But I do believe this man is sick. And I think it's irresponsible that we drug it out this far.
I agree. And I said that a long time ago. Y'all know I've been saying that for a minute. I apologize, Aunt Nettie. Ronnie Q, please, I skipped over Aunt Nettie. I'm gonna let her go ahead and go because I did skip over her. My apologies. Aunt Nettie, go ahead, baby. I'm so sorry.
Hey, really, B, no problem. Thank you. I'm disappointed as well, but we have to consider his health. What I think his intentions were, he would win the election, be there a month or two, step down, and then the VP would step in. I really believe those were his intentions. But as
I
Two
think that's
Vices
what it
said,
was too, honestly.
you asked that man to run, and then you forced him out. But instead of talking about, I was just on another panel, our best friend, you know who I'm talking about when I say our best friend, she the GOAT. And I was surprised at how many women were talking negatively about our black VP. Okay, she may be biracial, but you know, in our society, if you got one drop of black blood in you, you black. Point blank and period. Instead of downing her, we need to talk to our young people, our elderly people, our neighbors, our children, our cousins. We need to roll people out to vote. We got a convicted felon in one hand and a black woman in the other. I prefer the black woman over the convicted felon. So I agree with everybody, but while we on here talking, we need to be writing down names of people we think if they not registered, get them registered. If they need a ride to the polls, set up a ride to the polls. If they elderly, I work the polls every election. I take out my job to work the polls. They have the helpers who can help those elderly people vote. We need to get them to the polls, not just the woman, not just the black woman. All Democrats need to step to the front of the room.
Well,
Because
one thing for sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
if we let, as my great nephew that's 10 years old, call him the Cheeto man back up in there, baby, God is trying to tell us something. But we need to, I agree. But our main focus right now should be getting people to the vote, to the poll, getting those Democrats. And Kamala can do it. She's been doing it for the last 2 years because she's not been able to. Who you think been doing it? She's been the actual president for the last 2 years, year and a half anyway. Just didn't have the title. So she has the credentials and the know-how. We just need to educate our people on that fact and get them to the poll. And that's what I'm asking everybody listening. Go vote. And you choose. I can't tell nobody who to vote for. A convicted felon can't even vote, but they can be your president. Think of some laws that need to be changed, y'all. How can I not be able to vote if I was a convicted felon, but I could sit in the White House and run the country? Make that
Well, a
make
convicted
sense.
felon can vote. It's just certain states. Isn't that that's not a federal law. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go on.
But where I know where I am, a convicted felon can't vote. I'm in Arkansas.
Right. Oh, okay.
But they can run. A convicted felon can be president. If there's
Sure
only
can.
one state where they can't vote, why you gonna let a man be president, but you won't let a man vote? Y'all, we got to read up on our laws. We got to appeal to our congressmen, our senators. We got to start doing the work to get some of this stuff changed. And if you don't vote, you can't complain. So please
Mhm.
do your civic duty. That's what I came up for, to put a plea out, to give your civic duty. Our people died for us to have the right to vote. I get so tired of hearing people say, "Oh, one vote don't count." Baby, one vote can make it or break it.
Yeah, one vote does count. It sure does.
You
It sure
all,
does.
please, if you have children old enough to vote and they not registered, take them and get them registered. Take them to the poll. Do you know? I am so proud of my little town. I'm from a small town, but I have noticed the last three elections, people, white and black, are bringing their little 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children with them when they come to
Mhm.
vote, to teach them the process. That's what we got to start doing. I may not be here to see it because I'm an old lady, but we need our children to grow up knowing their rights and that they vote count.
Yeah.
Please go out and vote. Take a neighbor, take a friend, take anybody you can. Because that's the only way we going to make a difference. We can talk all day long, but if we don't go up there and go to that ballot box, it's not worth a hill of beans.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so much. This is last call. If you the link is pinned, this is last call. It's last call. Clenard, that is not true, but I want to let Ronnie Q speak because she's been very patient. But I will address that. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me start that comment so I can come back to it. Ronnie Q, I'm so glad that you clicked my link and that you over here. How you doing, my love?
I'm so glad that you have a link up to click because this is a very nervous time for a lot of people. But first of all, I do want to thank Joe Biden for all of his service he did give to the country. Unfortunately, I did not agree, of course, with all the policies that he put forth, like the
Mhm.
crime bill and different things. But so a lot of people seem to be worried about an open convention. I even heard Babs say she doesn't want the what I guess I think she meant the insiders to choose and to have an open convention and not go with Kamala Harris. I am totally opposite from that position because it is the Washington Democratic insiders elite is the reason that we had Joe Biden running in the first place without anyone going up against him to vet him to be the Democrat nominee. I think he should have been primaried and I think that the Washington establishment, the Democrat insider insiders is the reason why he wasn't primary. See, I've been calling for this, saying that this was unfair and they should have let the people choose if they wanted Biden to be the nominee. So the Democrat insiders is the one who has us in this position right now. That well, if we don't choose Kamala Harris, we're going against something. Well, you actually think that Kamala Harris did not even run for anything. Kamala Harris was hand chosen, hand picked. Kamala Harris has not been vetted up against the fire in my opinion, about doing anything presidential. If you pull up any of Kamala Harris's speech, she gives you a word salad to every answer. I think that we, the people, were not allowed to have a voice in who is going to be our nominee because of the this establishment. So why will we continue to depend upon them when they are the reason we are in this conundrum right now? So I think that the Democrat convention is going to be something else this year. I think that the delegates are all the delegates. You would be surprised are not going to fall in behind Kamala Harris. Uh, AOC was sounding the alarm last week that um, they just did not want Biden out. They were speaking in hushed tones and off the camera and off the record that they wanted them both out. So don't kid yourself in thinking this is going to be some, easy thing to do. No, they wanted them both out, and AOC called it. She wasn't for it. She said that she thought that the people should know that this was the plan that they were whispering in the back halls of Congress. So it's not that she was pushing for it; she was sounding an alarm. Gavin Newsom, he would be a horrible candidate because he's the governor of California, and this immigration thing has sparked a fire throughout the whole nation. You can't get certain jobs in California because you don't speak English. You can't work for a lot of county jobs, a lot of jobs in government because you're not bilingual. The nation does not want that. So he would be a horrible candidate. And these undocumented immigrants have filtrated throughout a whole lot of states. So if they do not have a good immigration, the Democrats should get a good immigration policy. And if they don't, they are not going to win over a lot of voters. I mean, it does not have to be draconian, like, oh, they're all going to, they're all going to self deport themselves because our laws and stuff are going to be so hard. People, listen, the bottom line is, they have brought these immigrants into the United States. They have set them up with jobs. They have set them up with getting quit work visas when a lot of Americans aren't working. They have set up these plush facilities for them to stay when our own United States veterans and citizens are living outside, living in real dark. If they do have a facility, it is not halfway as fixed up as these immigrant facilities are. And the American people are sick of it and they're mad about it. So if these Democrats do not get a comprehensive immigration bill passed, nobody wants to see their jobs, housing, and all of this go to people who have put no skin in the game. So the Democrat Party is going to have to talk about some real issues that is affecting real Americans. People are tired of going into stores and not. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest areas, in my opinion, that they can pull some voters from who are undecided, who are unmotivated, and who say they are crossing over the line for this reason or that reason, not understanding that if they get this Project 2025 rolling in your life, you think that that is the only thing that you're not going to have. I think that people need to quit acting as if this Project 25 is something fake. I was talking to someone earlier, and she was like, well, that can't happen because there are three branches of government. It can happen if the legislative part of the government, which is the Supreme Court, keeps giving the executive branch of the government more and more expanded leeway and letting him do more and more things under this what was this last one that Supreme Court ruled on? Immunity, was it immunity?
Immunity. Mm-hmm.
Immunity. This last immunity bill that they judged on, it gives the a president the power to do away with his political enemy. So you can't talk about what you can and cannot do because it's not in the Constitution, because that's not in the Constitution. But he has been given that power by the Supreme Court of this land, heading into this agenda that they have to enact this Project 2026. But the one thing about them giving it to him now is, guess who also has that power? See, they have enacted this law, but Biden has that power because Biden is still president. So I'm not, I'm not saying that should happen. But if that would happen, it would be like, oh my God, and they would, he can eliminate a political rival, and he cannot be questioned about it. There would be no counsel. There would be no hearing in the Senate about his actions. So let's be clear that all of these, everything that we think that we are protected against in the Constitution, it is being set up to be dismantled as we speak, with the Supreme Court that we have, and with all the judges that were appointed under the first Trump administration. Even though this guy has been convicted of 34 or 36 felony crimes, he has been convicted of SAing a woman. He is Eileen Cannon in Florida just dismissed his case, which they are appealing, about him taking secret correspondence out of the White House, including nuclear codes, including the positions of other countries' nuclear weapons. Do you think that that is valuable for him to have? After all of this, nobody sees anything about this man. They talked about how Biden was diminished in the debate. I definitely agree with that. But nobody is talking about the answers that this 78-year-old Donald Trump was giving. It was all hogwash, lies, and BS. So, technically, if anybody bothered to take a look at his performance, you think he's delusional and you think that he has dementia as well, because nothing that he was talking about was actual reality. But I think that we need to, I don't know. I'm really at a loss. I think we need to have an open convention. And I really do. And it's nothing against Kamala, but I don't think she's going to be able to win. That's just my opinion. Even, she started out with all the funds that Joe Biden had, but the donors said that, no, we're not giving him any more money. So that's another reason why it is important to vote, because the Supreme Court has allowed all of this money in with the Citizens United ruling, that you get all this corporate money in. So basically, the donors were the one who said, no, if he continued to run, we're not going to give him any money. He can do what he can to win. So let's, everybody think that, oh no, we're voting and this, that, and the other. Yes, you have to put pressure. You have to demand what you want for your vote, because they always depend upon the Black vote. Always. They always, oh, if it wasn't for you, we have to have some laws and agendas in place for us as well. Okay, that's it. I said a lot. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ronnie Q. Thank you so much. I believe I have Kamala Harris's statement, but I know you guys have been waiting. I'll read that at the end. I think Idiva and then Savannah. Thank you guys for your patience. Go ahead, Idiva.
Hello.
Idiva, you there? I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that I think that a lot of people don't have enough historical information. So if you don't mind, I just want to do a real brief recap. What the Supreme Court is doing is a case study of what happened during the Reconstruction era, when there were two Black senators. There is a misinformation that the senator in Atlanta, Ralph Warnock, is the first Black senator, when in fact he's not. In the 1800s, there was a Black senator in Georgia. There was a black senator in South Carolina. And what they did was they did the same thing that they're doing right now, is playing with the Supreme Court. They moved all of the Democratic, well, at the time it was Republican. So during that time, the Republicans had the same mindset for integration and equality that the Democrats now have. But they used the Supreme Court to push back laws. And if you recall, and you can Google all of everything that I'm saying, please fact check me. You can look back and see that it was the Supreme Court that allowed for slavery again. It was the Supreme Court that allowed for Jim Crow again. And it took us from 1877 to 1960s, when we got the Civil Rights Act overturned by Lyndon B. Johnson. And it wasn't because Lyndon B. Johnson was for unity. It was because the dollars, because Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers and Fred Hampton galvanized the black community. And we had come together, unified our economic dollar to make them recognize us, to make them and force them. The Montgomery boycott, the bus system at the time, a lot of black people did not have cars. So the busing system in Montgomery is what was the catalyst to fuel everything else. So there's a gentleman, and please research everything, write these names down that I'm saying. There's a gentleman now, his name is Leonard Leo. He is the one who is using the legal system to get Trump in. He is the one who, he is the puppeteer. He is the puppeteer. Old Man Ebro has, if you go to Old Man Ebro's IG page, look for a title that says, "Who Really Runs the Supreme Court?" And a black gentleman did a historical play-by-play book on Leonard Leo. I went and started researching this gentleman, and everything that man said is true. So the Jeff Bloom, the billionaires who are funding his efforts are being sourced by Leonard Leo and the Heritage Foundation. Now, connecting dots, Heritage Foundation is the group who is behind Project 2025 manifesto. So I do believe that Kamala Harris is the most qualified candidate for president right now. And I understand that Hillary Clinton lost. Hillary Clinton lost because Hillary Clinton did not have a connection to people. And she tried to make the connection during the campaign. Kamala Harris has been connected to the community. She went to an HBCU. She graduated law from California, but she is a graduate of Howard University. She is an AKA. She has been connected to the culture. Yes, she is biracial, but she claims her black heritage. Gavin Newsom, yes, he is a white man, but while he is a white man, and I live in Los Angeles, while he is a white man, too many moderate Democratic people will not vote for Gavin Newsom because in his eyes, he is too liberal. And the lady who was speaking before me, there's one thing that she said that was not correct. Kamala Harris was running for president. She made the statement that we never got a chance to pick Kamala Harris. She just came out of anywhere. No. Kamala Harris didn't come out of anywhere. Kamala Harris was the district attorney for the state of California. Kamala Harris then became a representative. Then she became a senator. Kamala Harris has sat on the Homeland Security Board. Kamala Harris sat on excuse me, not the board, the committee. Kamala Harris sat on the Judiciary and on the Judiciary Committee. She sat on the Health, Education, and Labor Committee. She sat on the Finance Committee. She sat on Energy and Natural Resource Committee. She sat on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. She sat on Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. And she sat on Foreign Relations Committee. Kamala Harris is the most experienced candidate that the Democratic Party at this point could put forward, besides one of the former sitting presidents, which most of them have already had 2 terms. Once you serve 2 terms, you can't be president again. And I don't think any of them would want to be president again. And I do believe if the black culture gets behind Kamala Harris, she will be the next and the first black woman president. Because black people run culture in America. American culture, soul food is black. Country music, black. Jazz, black. Pop music, black. Look at the fashions and the designs. All of these designers in Europe have these rap artists wearing their clothes in these videos. How do you think Cardi B hasn't put out an album for 4 years? Because she doesn't need to. Because these fashion houses are writing checks left and right. If the black community came together collectively, if the hip hop culture got behind Kamala Harris, we could get her to the presidential seat. But everybody talking about who they aren't and are not, who they are and are not going to support, unfortunately, we don't have that liberty. And I am very disappointed that Joe Biden resigned, even though I did not think that cognitively he was ready to do another 4 years, because from my understanding, I mean, we can all look at President Barack Obama. He went in black hair and came out almost, fully salt. But if Biden had chose to stay on the ticket, I don't care if they had to push him out and he had drool coming down the side of his mouth. I would have voted for him, because I know that behind Biden is Kamala Harris, and there are committees and there are advisors. There are senior advisors. No, even though it's the president's front facing, there is an entire council that advises them every step of the way. Now, in order for Kamala to win, she would definitely have to choose a very conservative, influential, moderate Democratic running partner. And at this point, honestly, it would either be Fetterman, because Fetterman washed Pennsylvania. It was a landslide. It would be Shapiro. I would choose Fetterman, even though he is an oddball. He don't wear suits. I mean, if we could get the man to agree to wear suits, because of his influence in Pennsylvania, I believe that Fetterman has the influence to bring in the moderate swing votes in Pennsylvania. But we are headed back to Jim Crow 2.0 if we allow Trump to get back into office. And all of this talk about the checks that Trump gave, why did we need checks? We needed checks because he fumbled coronavirus. He didn't have no choice but to write a check, and he should have wrote a much bigger check, because it was because of his ignorance and his arrogance that COVID got out of hand. Obama had an entire department for that was solely focused on communicable diseases. And that's why they were able to roll out the vaccine so quickly, because they had already been studying them because of the H1N1 virus that almost was supposed to do what COVID did. But Obama had sense enough to galvanize physicians, medical doctors from around the world to quickly snuff it out. So I'm ending now. I just wanted to get on here and encourage people, please do your research. Look at what happened during the Reconstruction period. Look at how we went from having several black senators and House representatives to dogs being sicked on us. And all of these younger generations talking about, oh, slavery couldn't have been me. We're about to find out if Trump gets in office. Because if Trump gets in office, he's not going to leave. And when he does, there is going to be a secession. There will no longer be voting as we know it. I think the biggest threat, and I said I'm about to leave now. See, this is church side coming out me, but this is my last closing. The biggest threat to democracy we have not experienced. And the Jewish community has a saying when it comes to the Holocaust. They say never again. But guess what? The Jewish community migrated to the U.S. They're 2.4% of the U.S. population, but they run economics. They pull their economics together. And so that is how they can confidently say never again. The black community is 14.4% of the U.S. population. And we run culture. We have our own black Twitter. We have our own black Instagram. We are the culture that makes things go viral. If we galvanized and made sure that our moms and our dads and our aunties and our uncles and our nieces and our nephews and our cousins and honey, you turning 18? Okay, baby, let me go register you to vote. If we made sure everybody in our sphere of influence was registered to vote, and we got a portion of the Hispanic population to vote with us, we wouldn't need the white women's and the white men's vote. So I just want everyone to please do your research. Research Leonard Leo. Research Kamala Harris's history, and research what happened in the Reconstruction period, because they're using the same playbook. Thank you so much, Really B. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I wanted to, before you drop down, I do want to push back a little bit. I normally don't, but I do want to push back a little bit.
Okay.
Something you said early on, I don't know who said Governor Warnock was the first black senator. I don't know who said that.
If you Google him, if you Google Raphael Warnock, a lot of people have said he's the first black senator in Georgia, and that's not true.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not true.
It immediately populates first black senator, first black senator, first black senator. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely not true.
Absolutely.
And when you said something about they brought slavery back, can you explain what you meant by that?
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't catch what you said.
You said something about they brought slavery back. Can you explain what you meant by that? I didn't catch that.
Yes. Okay. So in 1824, or the Juneteenth celebration, when Lincoln announced that the slaves were going to be free, right?
Lincoln didn't do that, but go ahead.
Well, correct. So it was an emancipation. White people were no longer allowed to own slaves, right? And even
no, that's not what it was either. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
That's not what the Emancipation Proclamation was. But go ahead. I'm not being funny. I'm just trying to understand.
No. You're fine. So the Emancipation Proclamation was to abolish legally owning slaves. That was the intent of the law. That was
in the states that has seceded. Only in the states that has seceded.
Correct. But that was the letter of the law. Okay. What the Reconstruction did with the Supreme Court. So if I'm quite sure a lot of you remember when the Black Wall Street in Oklahoma and all of those things were thriving. It was during the Renaissance. Period. The 1877 Supreme Court they put into law. So law is nothing but human beings making decisions about what is policy and what is not policy. And at the time, it was the Democratic, The Democrats were what the Republicans are today. The Republicans then were what the Democrats are today. So when I say Democrat and Republican, please keep the uh, the fact in mind that it was switched. Roles were reversed. Okay. During that time, the Republican Party had black people in office. There were black people in the House of Representatives. There were black people in the House, in the Senate. What the Supreme Court did was they repealed laws that allowed black people to be on government, period. They repealed laws that allowed that at the time the whole 40 acres and a mule, that saying came from the fact that after you worked for your well, I'm using master because that's really what they were. After you worked for your master for a certain amount of time, and I'm not sure what that time frame was, and it could also be retroactive. So if you had already worked for them for 7 years or whatever, and your master had so many hundreds of acres, they were supposed to give their slave hands 40 acres and a mule. The Supreme Court repealed that. The Supreme Court also repealed the fact that you could have a slave hand and you did not have to pay them. So basically, it was slavery. But because there were laws on the book about slavery, they didn't want to go against that, so they implemented laws that legally allowed slavery.
Can I hop in real
Okay.
quick? Really,
I
B, I
want to
think what
hold
you
on.
were saying.
Hold on. Because I could go down a rabbit hole, and I don't want to right now because Savannah has been waiting patiently, and I want her to be able to speak. So Savannah, and I'll come back. I Diva and back. I'll come back around, but I want Savannah to be able to speak because she's been waiting a long time, and I apologize. So Savannah, go ahead. You have the floor. Like I said, we can do reconstruction. That's a whole nother. We could do that, but go ahead, Savannah.
Thank you, Really B. I am enjoying the conversation, honestly, and listening to the previous callers. And there's been a lot of truth telling and some facts that we definitely got to go back and check. But I too am a little disheartening. And although I knew the decision was the right one for the country, I do want to thank President Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden for their service to our country, not just for these past 4 years, but President Biden has been a career-long politician since before most of your time on the panel. So I'm a 70s baby, so I do remember President Biden and the first incident with his wife and daughter. I do work in DC for the government, so I'm in these halls. I hear the conversations. I think Vice President Harris would be a strong leader. It all is going to depend on who her running mate is. I'm liking Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona. I
That's a new
think
name.
he
Okay.
would. I think he brings the military aspect as well as Senator Kelly also with the reform for common sense laws when it comes to objects or pow-pows, however you're supposed to say it on YouTube, because of the incident with his wife. If we go back towards that history, we all have to. I've always admired the Republicans and their long game, and that's how they've always played. This Project 2025, which I have read all 800 and something pages. I understand it's 900, but there's a lot of footnotes and things in there. This thing has been in play for more than just this past year. They have, uh, while we have been paying attention to other things, they have in the background been changing laws, and it is what we see today with the Supreme Court, and all that's coming from there when we have Supreme Court justices who are being bought by these decision makers. Um, I have to say that these next few weeks, and when I hear young, and I'm say young because I'm in 50s, but when I hear generations saying, that they don't vote in local elections are the most important elections, especially when we come to the Senate. That's also going to matter. Of course, POTUS matters, but the Senate is also a safeguard for laws being pushed through or endorsed by all three branches. And there are 10 seats that are going to be in play during this election year. I mean, we have an opportunity to get even Ted Cruz out. He's not safe in Texas. And his opponent, which I believe his name is Allred. Allred has been really holding, gaining some momentum and holding Ted Cruz accountable for a lot of, and if anybody has or knows Ted and all the dealings with Texas, um, I'm kind of excited to see that race, as well as West Virginia with Joe Manchin stepping down. These races are also vital and very important. You have Arizona with Lake being challenged as well. So we definitely have to be involved with more of our local elections, and do our research, as the young lady has been stating. That is so important. And this society is a very cultural driven society. And when I see influencers, or I don't know, they call them celebrities or not, who say they're not going to vote, that weighs heavily on the generation that finally has gained the right to vote. And it just shows me that their people are not doing their research, not being involved in their community and in their politics. All this stuff matters, and I appreciate you for allowing us to have this conversation. Um, but we definitely have to become involved now, um, because what the alternative is just too scary. And I'm not red or blue, but I do know that what the alternative is absolutely going to affect us as minorities, and all the gains that we have made, and so, because of leaders who have sacrificed and done so much to get us to where we are. And although it might not be a good place or a happy place, but it is better than where we were a year ago or 4 years ago. So thank you, Really B. I absolutely enjoyed this conversation, and
Thank you for coming.
I've learned a lot as well.
No problem. Thank you so much. Ronnie Q, you wanted to come back up, my love?
I think Babs was next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Babs. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't care.
Charge it to my head, not my heart, y'all.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess 2 points to address. The When I came back up, first thing, I guess with the whole open convention thing, for me, it grinds even more because I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Well, I don't vote Republican either. And so it's like a person like myself who would classify themselves as being independent. It just really kind of irks me to think that a group of people in where is the in Chicago in a few weeks might pick whoever the next candidate is going to be. But that's, it is what it is. I'm more than likely going to end up voting for whoever in the world the Democratic candidate is. I just don't like it. I would prefer for it to be Kamala Harris. And also, if I was willing to put aside certain things that Biden did that I didn't agree with, or before Biden, I didn't really care for some things that Obama promoted and things like that, But I was willing to put those things aside because for me it felt like the greater good. I can do the same thing for Kamala if she is the nominee. The other thing that the thing that I really came up for was just to say Nancy Pelosi has nerve, because they literally basically had to drag her out kicking and screaming from being Speaker of the House when it was time for her to go ahead and let somebody else have their turn. So for her to have the audacity to come back and then say, well, you need to go ahead and step down and have this open convention and things like that, it was just, it rubbed me the wrong way because it feels like the height of hypocrisy. That's it.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Ronnie Q. And I'll do one final round for everybody that's up here, but this is gonna be, so I have Ronnie Q. Anybody else is up here that wants to say any final words, I'll go around and then we're gonna wrap it up. So go ahead, Ronnie Q.
Real quickly, I do know who Kamala Harris is. Of course, I knew she was a senator. Okay, but my point was she was not voted for. She had an opportunity to run, and she was not chosen by the people. She was chosen by Joe Biden. That was my point in saying that. Secondly, what the young lady was saying about somebody reintroduce slavery. Well, I do know that Woodrow Wilson's policies started Jim Crow, which also was the kick up of the Klan era and all of that during the period of the Jim Crow era. So I understand that as well. Now, I also understand that he forbid people who were in government. When she was speaking of, you did have people in government under Woodrow Wilson. He took a lot of those government jobs away, and people were not allowed to work in certain higher levels of government, in federal government in many ways. So that was one of the things he did. I don't know if she was speaking about that, but she might have been speaking about that. And if you look, this Project 2025 has the same agenda. They expect to enact in their first 180 days, pulling a lot of federal people off of their jobs because they are not loyalists to their agenda. Now, they're saying that it's not Trump's agenda, but he is calling it Trumponian, a Trumponian agenda, because the president of Project 2025 believes that the Conservative Party is really moved over into the Trump Party. I'm not saying this. He said this out of his own mouth. The Heritage Foundation, he's the president of the Heritage Foundation, which put together this Project 2025, which now Donald Trump, since it's on the radar, is saying, I don't even know what's in that. I don't know anything about that bill. Yet 140 of his former employees, people who he put in position when he was a president, helped create and write this. Now, the first thing that they want to do is to eliminate a lot of people who work in civil service, because they want to replace them with Trump loyalists. These are people who just may have donated some money that they're going to go in and say, you've been working here 20 years. Well, we see you donated to a Democrat, so you're not helping us push our agenda, and you're fired. They're getting in office and they're firing you for donating to someone because you're not even pushing their agenda, because they already have the people that they want to replace you, and they already have these loyalists who they know is going to push any agenda, because nobody even know what the agenda is. How you get fired from a job because you're not pushing the agenda because you donated something? It's not even about the agenda. They're taking your jobs away. Now they are initially saying that it was 50,000 jobs, 20,000 jobs. Then they said it was going to be about 50,000 jobs. But when the president of the Heritage Foundation was interviewed, he said that 90% of the jobs are held by people who are not loyalists. That's about 2 million jobs. So that is what they're doing. They're going to, and when they start taking jobs away in one area or arena for no good reason, they justify taking away, just like they took DEI, away. The format for the DEI, they didn't think that it would be possible to push removing DEI from schools and corporations and the federal government. But what they said in their manifesto is that if we can get this DEI removal done in one college, then we can spread it across the nation. And they got it done in one college in Florida, and it has spread across the nation and into corporations, where it is not important to have DEI in any field. So be careful about these little numbers that they tell you and these little things that they say they're going to take away from you. Okay, don't think that I am not going to vote. I am like that lady. If they had pulled a carcass up there with a Joe Biden mask on, I would have still voted for my best interest. So that's what I'm saying. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Ronnie Q. I'm gonna start with Danny because I think, and then I'll go around. This will be the last round. I'm reading the chat, you guys. There are some things that I'm gonna address before I get off of here. The history teacher in me will not allow me to not address some things, but I want to give everybody a chance to speak because we've all been up here. So, Danny, I'm gonna start with you. Then Auntie Nettie, Savannah, Bap, and Taya. That's the order we're gonna go in. Okay, go ahead, Danny. Danny, you still here with us? All right, I'll come back to Danny. Auntie Natty, did you have any final words?
I reiterate, get your sister, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, your nephew, your grandchildren, everybody that's old enough, if they not registered, get them registered and get them to the polls to vote and educate them. Give them the pros and the cons, but get them to the polls. We have to vote. If we want things changed, we have to vote to make the change.
All right. Thank you. Savannah?
I'm going to absolutely agree with Aunt Natty here. Vote, get out there, educate yourselves, pay attention. Always look behind the smoke and mirrors and do your own research. You don't have to vote down one party ticket. I never do. I always do my research and find out what is the best candidate for my community, my rights as a woman and as a Latina. And just be kind. I think we're missing a lot of kindness in this thing too. It's just been awful because I was listening to another chat and there's not a lot of there's a lot of negativity being spewed about Vice President Harris here. So do your research and just go out and vote. We're in a scary time right now. So this is definitely something we need to all be involved in.
All right. Bat and then Taya.
I didn't really have any last thoughts until I read something in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Somebody they were talking about the whole Project 2025 thing, and they were saying that federal government employees have union protection. And I just wanted to say until they don't, until they do not. And that's my final thought.
All right. Thank you very much. Taya?
Taya, eventually we gonna get it together. I just go with it at this point. It's okay. I just go with it at this point. I'm like, one day she just gonna accidentally say Taya, and it's gonna be good.
Taya?
Couple things. It's Taya. Yes, Taya.
Okay.
But I know you mean Taya. I know what you mean. Just like when your mom used to say the wrong kid's name, you know which one she's talking to. But couple things. For one, I think there was a huge frustration with Barack for his second term because he was mad that a lot of people didn't come out and vote for the smaller tickets. I think that disappointed him and his wife. So if it was even a fighting chance that they would even circle back for like VP or anything like that, we killed it, or the people killed it by not coming out and voting for the smaller elections, because that, like a lot of you said, that's where a lot of the work is done. The presidency can only do but so much. It's the rest of the ticket that really is going to drive whatever the initiative is. A few other comments, not specifically in this track, but just in general on social media that I've seen, is like pointing out, oh, Harris is for mass incarceration. And, even when Biden was running, a lot of points was made about different things that he was in support of, 20 or 30 years ago. But I don't see enough people pressing on the point of how Trump did the now exonerated five. He had a big write-up in, I think it was the New York Times, where he basically, like stuck his foot on these young men's necks when they was going through that. And even since it was brought back to the public eye and, they finally became exonerated, so to speak, he still did not denounce, apologize, acknowledge the fact that he was wrong back then. So it's like, if we're going to point out, the strikes that you want to so-called have against these other candidates, let's not forget about, the exonerated five. I don't care who the Democratic candidate is, that's the direction I'm going. Other thing is, I don't really necessarily believe in doing the whole write-in. However, I am in firm support of exercising your vote. Unfortunately, when my daughter was able to vote, her first year was the Clinton Trump year. And she's like, yeah, I'm not voting for neither one. I said, listen, as a young lady, as a Black lady, these are privileges that, people fought for you to even have. So even if you have to go to that poll booth and write your name in, I just want you to exercise your vote. So it's like I don't support write-ins, but I would rather our young people exercise their rights than not exercising them at all. And I get it. It's not going to count because it pulls the votes away, but I just still want them to get used to exercising their rights. Now, after she did not vote that year, the following year that she was able to vote, she did vote. And then that's the other thing. A few other people said, a lot of us, congratulations, you had some seniors graduate high school. So they're about 17, 18. Make sure that they're registered. Make sure that they're registered and encourage them, especially if they're minorities, encourage them to exercise their rights. I think that was all I had. Thank you for letting me up. And I've been enjoying all of the commentary from everyone. And just the respect portion of it, even when, misinformation was given, it's been very respectful. So, the other question I had for you, Really B, is, do you think there's a scenario where maybe you can have a open panel or maybe do like some type of broadcast on potential VP candidates, where maybe you present some and, give everyone an opportunity. Hey, this is what I know about this person. Like kind of a QA about who could possibly, be this VP candidate. I mean, I would sit through that. I would like to.
I mean, I never say never. I did kind of go over some of the names that are floating around. I never say never. So I'm not gonna say no. I will say that the next couple of months is going to be definitely going to be very interesting. It's going to be a lot. Like I said at the beginning of this, it's definitely going to be a lot more motion. There's definitely going to be a lot more going on in the politics of it all. So I may do more. People who've been around know I'm a very political person. My undergrad degree is actually in political science, but I had to step away. It was just becoming too much for my mental health. I had to step away. So I may.
I totally understand. And I'm not saying, hey, become this new CNN political station, but just based on some of the. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Diva, I see you're backstage. Did you want to? I'm gonna let you come up, even though I had closed it out, but I know you were already up here. So, did you have something you wanted to say, Adiva?
No,
I didn't know if you had.
I came back on. I thought you wanted to complete the reconstruction, but I tried to post what I was talking about in the comment, but no, I didn't know if you wanted to. You said you wanted to say something, but there was someone you wanted to let go. So, that's why I came back on.
Okay. All right. You can hang up because I'm gonna address some of this. But I did want to give everybody a chance to speak. Okay, Danny, are you here? Because I'm getting ready to, except for Diva, I'm going to clear the board. Okay, I think Danny's just still up here. I don't know if he's still here. All right, I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna take everybody down except for Diva. I'm gonna let Diva stay up because I know she did speak specifically about reconstruction. So I was taking notes. So a couple of things I do want to say. First of all, I think that we're definitely going to see a big push among, especially young Black voters, because Kamala Harris is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. You definitely know that the AKAs are going to be on it, and the Divine Nine is going to follow suit. So I do think there's going to be a reconnection to young voters, and it's going to galvanize young voters. I hope. I think it will. As far as Reconstruction is concerned, so for people who don't know, and I'm not being patronizing, I just want to make sure everybody understands what we're talking about. Reconstruction was the time period after the Civil War. It was the reconstruction of the South. There were a lot of laws and policies that were put in place immediately after the Civil War concluded that were very pro, in favor of, Diva fell off. They were very pro the former enslaved people. The problem was Abraham Lincoln, who put a lot of things in place, or had a lot of vision, had a lot of plans, was assassinated literally, 3 days before the Civil War officially ended. So a lot of the plans that he put in place for Reconstruction and for the former enslaved people were then taken over by his vice president, who was a racist, right? And he had absolutely no interest in doing anything for the former slaves. So Reconstruction started off really, really, really good for the former enslaved people and ended really, really, really bad for the former enslaved people. So I don't want to get too deep into the minutia, but there were a lot of policies that were put in place towards the end of Reconstruction. Yes, it became illegal if they thought you were loitering. You could be picked up and be put into a work camp, which, ex facto, a lot of people, that basically was a new slavery. We know sharecropping came into place. That was a new slavery. We know tenant farming came into place, a new slavery. But there was no law that was put in place that said we can put these people back in slavery. The 13th Amendment does free the slaves. It says for the exception of penalty of a crime, i.e. jail. Now, hence the reason why you can go to jail and they can make you work and not pay you. That's slavery, right? The Ku Klux Klan started during Reconstruction. There are actually 4 waves of the rise of the Ku Klux Klan, you have after the Civil War, where the Ku Klux Klan was actually started by former Confederate soldiers, and they had a rise right after the Civil War. And then there were laws, believe it or not, that were put in place to, right, Andrew Johnson absolutely was an evil man. There were laws that were put in place that actually penalized the Ku Klux Klan, and so therefore it sort of went away. There was a second rise of the Ku Klux Klan. It started around the time of World War I, when Woodrow Wilson was in office. We know that Woodrow Wilson was a big racist. He was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. We saw a second rise of the Ku Klux Klan after around World War I. And that is directly connected to, you had a lot of Black men who went into the military, came home, and were like, no, you're not going to treat me crazy, because I went over to Europe and I was called sir for the first time in my life. I had rank, I had responsibility. I'm not going to come home and be your nigga, right? That had a lot to do with this. So that's where you saw the second rise of the Ku Klux Klan around that time, right, Clenard, around 1920. You start to see the third rise of the Ku Klux Klan again after World War II. Same thing. You had a lot of soldiers, men, women coming home saying, yeah, you're not going to treat me like a nigga. I just risked my life trying to free the Jews from Hitler, and I'm not going to come home, and I'm not going to allow you to treat me crazy. That ran into the civil rights movement, where we absolutely know the Ku Klux Klan was at an all-time high during the 50s and 60s of the civil rights movement. I now tell my students we can now see where there's a fourth rise of the Ku Klux Klan, which really came out during the rise of Donald Trump. We don't call them the Ku Klux Klan anymore, but white supremacy is all the same damn thing. So that I wanted to address. Jim Crow did not start under Woodrow Wilson. Jim Crow actually started at the end of Reconstruction, when laws were put into place that restricted the rights of free slaves. Jim Crow was officially sort of made law with Plessy versus Ferguson, where the Supreme Court said separate but equal it started during Obama. You're right, Clenard. It started during Obama. Jim Crow was solidified under Plessy versus Ferguson, where the Supreme Court said, yes, you can be separate as long as it is equal. Okay. Let's not prefer Freedmen's. They want us to forget. What are we forgetting about Freedmen's? What you talking about, Connie Sean? You mean the Freedmen's Bureau under Reconstruction, the Freedmen's Bureau? Okay. Project 2025. Listen, let me say this to you guys. I need y'all, if I have a mod in here, if you could drop my Teacher Project 2.0 link. Myself and El Teddy, we have a teacher podcast that we do, okay? We have been ringing the alarm for the past 2 to 3 years. Project 2025 is not new. I want us to stop acting like Project 2025 is something new. It's not. And over the last 3 to 4 years, it has slowly but surely been put into place. It has been weaved into our reality. If you look at states like Texas and Florida, if you look at states like Tennessee, if you look at, Oklahoma, if you look at these states, Arizona, they are slowly but surely putting these policies already in place. I understand that people are getting caught up on this manifesto of Project 2025, but I want you guys to read Project 2025, and I want you to look at what's already happening. Project 2025 has already been put in place. The foundation has already been laid. Some of the things that are in Project 2025, Donald Trump said he was going to do in 2020. These aren't new. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't still be alarmed. I'm not saying that we shouldn't still be vigilant. But what I want y'all to understand is pay attention to what's already going on around you. Thank you. Please subscribe to the Project 2.0. We've been talking about these things. Now, we've been talking about them as it relates to education, but I need y'all to understand that they're using education as the anchor to do these things. If you pay attention to what's going on in Florida and Texas and Oklahoma and Tennessee, these are just the names that Virginia, they're using education as the anchor. DEI died through Florida. Pay attention. DEI died. It came through Florida. So I'm not saying we shouldn't be vigilant. I am saying I need y'all to understand and look at what's going on around you in your own state. Clenard said earlier, make sure you are voting locally. Please. Hey, Lady Nika, look who that dropped down. Hey, boo. Please make sure you are paying attention, and y'all need to be vigilantly paying attention to what's going on in your own state, y'all. Even if you're in a blue state, I need you to know this ain't new. And we've been talking about this for years. In the state of Florida right now, a teacher could literally go to jail if they have the wrong book in their classroom library. Librarians, and I think that's Tennessee, can go to jail if they don't take the books off the shelf that are supposed to be taken off the shelf. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, y'all. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I need y'all to understand I do this for a living. This is what I teach history. This is what I do. So some of the stuff I was like, oh, because I was cringing, but I'm not coming at people, but I want to clear some stuff. That's all. I want to clear some stuff. Reconstruction is deep and it's very complicated. It's not easy. It's not short and it's not easy. Reconstruction lasted a very long time after the Civil War. It started really, really good for the freed slaves, and it ended really, really bad for the freed slaves. So I just want y'all to know that. Okay. Yes, jail. Absolutely jail. Yes. So y'all, we've been here for 2 hours. I love y'all. I love y'all, but I got to eat dinner. I didn't realize it was 5:30. I haven't eaten anything all day. All I had was some watermelon, child. Let me go get me some dinner. I'll be back later on tonight. I was going to talk about Diddy, but I think Diddy will just have to wait till tomorrow, child. I got some Diddy stuff to tell y'all, but we'll do that tomorrow. Tonight, we'll do, I don't know, Big Brother or something. Child. I got to lighten the mood around here. But I want to thank everybody for coming through. I want to thank everybody who came up on the panel. I want to thank us for having a respectful conversation, even amongst disagreement. I don't have a problem with anybody disagreeing, especially you can disagree with me, but we're going to do it in a respectful manner. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. I want to thank my friend Candy. If you are still listening in the bushes, I want to thank my friend Candy Peterson. I have not seen you, girl. You owe me a steak dinner. Okay. We definitely need to hook up real soon. Okay. I miss you, boo. Since Lady Nika is here, you have to say, I'm sitting on 2 quarters, Lady Nika. I am sitting on 2 quarters over here, and I need you to know, Lady Nika, I'm stealing it. Every chance I get, I'm saying 2 quarters. I need you to know that, okay? Every chance I get, yes, Loudoun County, Virginia is a perfect case study. Please look up Loudoun County, Virginia. You are absolutely correct. But with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. I love y'all though. If any donations were given, I appreciate it. Listen, donations are not required, but I've been here for 2 hours. So if y'all want to slide a sister a little piece of something, I ain't gonna be mad at you, okay? And I'll be back. And thank you, Auntie's Advice. Listen, we had some content creators in here. Lady Nika, Ronnie Q, Auntie's Advice. I don't know if I saw Chef Don Don, but he's my mod. I'm gonna shout him out too. Angela, that's my mod, and she has a YouTube channel over there as well. El Teddy, y'all know El Teddy's been on this for weeks. Baby, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all this story, then we're going to get off of here. El Teddy called it. If y'all don't know, El Teddy called it. El Teddy called this when we were in Turks and Caicos. We was getting ready to get in the pool, and El Teddy said, hold on. I got to go live. I've been talking to my people. They said that Joe Biden will be resigning, and he went live while we were in Turks and Caicos to give y'all that tea. And that was 3 weeks ago? So El Teddy called it. If you're not subscribed to El Teddy, y'all make sure y'all get subscribed if y'all want to get the update on all the politics. I ain't promising I'm gonna do a regular political thing over here, but I probably will be talking politics more than I was. Y'all know I had to take a break. It was eating at my mental health. I couldn't do it. But with that being said, I'm getting off of here. Love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. I'm in DC. Queen said, what state are you in? Well, I live in Maryland, but I'm from DC. So you want to talk about taxation without representation? I'm from a colony. DC is a colony. Okay, we can talk about that a whole nother day, child. Let me go.